Good afternoon all. Today I'm going to review this. It's a rucksack. Now if you're thinking that's not the sort of thing you normally review, well this one's slightly different because it's a rucksack with a solar panel. So this item is a Glory solar rucksack. It's in this really nice, and I do like it, sort of greeny brown denim. And the main flap on the top there has a sun power solar panel. Now on the listing it says that that solar panel is 5 watts, but actually I think that's a very conservative rating when you compare it with similar sized solar panels. Now this solar rucksack has been very kindly supplied by Banggood.com, so thanks very much to Banggood. And I will put a link to this item in the description below the video, and that will be a tracking link so Banggood can see how many people look at this item as a direct result of this video. So let's take a quick look inside, and inside we have this little leaflet. It does appear to be all in Chinese. No, it's in English as well, that's good. And we have a relatively short, probably ½ meter USB Type A to Type B micro charge lead. Now I do have to point out that this piece of Velcro doesn't appear to have been sewn down properly. It's been sewn down that right hand edge, but not across the bottom and not up the side. There does appear to be a loose thread there, but that's incomplete, which is a bit of a shame. Now these two sections here which cut in under the lid, I assume are for a little bit of waterproofing, so when the lid's closed rain can't drip down inside the bag. I'm not sure how waterproof this fabric is, but that should protect a little bit against water running down the inside. Right, in terms of pockets, there's the main area here, and then just behind that there's a little Velcro elastic strap there, and there's a padded separator, and behind there you could put, I suppose, paperwork possibly, or something flat. The bulk of your bulky stuff will be in this main section, and then there's a narrow opening here into which you could put smaller items, and in there there's a little sort of nylon separator there which has little sections in it, I think for pens or something like that. Let's try that. Yeah, so in this little nylon thing I've put a couple of pens there, and my phone fits reasonably well into that pocket. This pocket here looks like it might take a credit card or some sort of travel card. In the manual it doesn't say anything about literage, how many litres of stuff you can put in here. Interestingly, it also doesn't mention the solar panel wattage, although on Banggood's website it says that it's 5 watts. Right, on the side here there is a short zip, it's not very long, and that just gives you access into the main thing inside. It's just, I suppose, for quick access into the bag, although it's a bit tight getting your hand in there, so I'm not sure. Maybe for putting things in, probably not quite so good for taking things out if you don't want to open the main solar panel flap. There are also 2 side pockets here, which are probably best for bottles. So I've got my bottle of water there and a bottle of my favourite poison on the other side. So yes, you can carry 2 bottles with you. So on the back you've got the 2 shoulder straps here. They're adjustable with adjusters down the bottom, and then the back is a sort of padded black nylon or something like that covered back, so that should be reasonably comfortable on your back. And then there's also a carry hook on the top of the bag. Right, let's get to the interesting bit, which is the solar panel. Now, as I say, on Banggood's website it says that this is 5 watts, so I'm going to try and give that a go. We don't have hugely good sunshine today, but I'll see if I can just grab a moment of some sunshine. On the inside of this flap there is a little USB port. It's only a single USB port. It's got a little rubber cover over it there, and there's no light or anything. Now it seems that this is completely detached from the solar panels on the other side, and I can just feel a wire running around there, so I assume there are wires coming out of this small box and running onto the solar panels on the other side. So let's get that connected up and see if we can get some voltage and current and power indicators from that socket. Now, just on the matter of this panel being 5 watts, you can see I've placed the other 2 folding solar panels that I have next to it. The one on the left, the Suoki one, is supposedly 16 watts, although I never got anything near 16 watts out of it. And on the right, that 4 panels adds up to supposedly 22 watts. But again, those were very, well, liberal claims. They were a bit extravagant, and I never got anything like that out of them. But if you compare the sort of square inch or square centimetre area of the Glory Solar against the Suoki, 5 watts does seem like a very conservative estimate. So let's plug some wires in and see what we actually get. Now, unfortunately, the YZX Studio monitor doesn't quite extend out beyond the edge of the bag with one extender, so I think I'm going to have to use 2 extenders, which is not ideal. Right, with the monitor plugged in and running, we're getting 5.3 volts, but there's no sun at the moment. I will plug a power bank in and see how many watts we get, but it won't be much. Right, I've plugged in my favourite power bank. Let's just take a quick look at that. That's that 4-cell power bank. The voltage has dropped way down. We are getting almost half an amp. We're getting almost 2 watts. But as I say, the sun is not out at the moment. It's overcast. So I'm just going to wait for a gap in the clouds. Well, while I'm waiting for the sun to come out, I know what this panel is capable of because I have tested it. But actually thinking about it, 2 watts or thereabouts, yeah, 1.75 watts, actually not too bad for an overcast sky. I mean, if you were walking around in overcast conditions, you are actually getting something coming from that solar panel, so you would get some charge into either a power bank or your phone. So I've actually switched to this Avantec power bank now, which I know has a very heavy draw when it's completely flat, and it is completely flat. I've emptied it. It will draw up to 2.4 amps initially. It drops back fairly quickly, but then it will hold a fairly consistent 2 amps. My power bank, this one, will only draw 1.6 amps max, so we'll wait for the sun and see how many watts we can get out of that solar panel. Right, just a little bit of hazy sunshine, and although the voltage is low, we've got half an amp and 2.2 watts. And briefly, we've got 4 watts there. 4 watts on that figure down in the bottom right corner. Oh, the sun's come out. 5 watts. Just very briefly, 5 watts. It's dropped back now. That's still not proper sunshine, but actually, yes, of course, that's met the specification that the panel claims. It can do better than that. I know it can. I've seen it do it. But yeah, we did very briefly get 5 watts then, and that's not under full sun. Yeah, well, this could be quite a long wait because there's just nothing coming this way. It's actually quite windy today, so the cloud's moving quite quickly, but it's coming from that direction, but there's no gaps in the cloud there. There's a little bit of blue up there, but that's not coming my way, so I could be here for most of the afternoon, I think. Right, in the next hour, light cloud. Tomorrow, thick cloud. Sunday, light cloud. Monday, light cloud. Tuesday, light cloud. Wednesday, light cloud. Right, I give up. Right, I give up. For today, it's not going to happen. We're not going to get any sun. So the other day I tried this out, and on the power monitor I was getting about 6.5 watts. This panel was under full sun. It was hot. It was about 60 degrees I measured on my thermometer. So this panel well in excess of its rated 5 watts. Yeah, about 6.5 watts you can get out of this panel under full sun. So I think that concludes my review of the Glory Solar solar backpack with a 5 watt solar panel capable of producing far more than 5 watts. 6.5 watts was the most I got out of it, and that's with it hot. If you had full sun on the panel with it cold, it would probably produce a little bit more. You can put your phone in here, water bottles, and you just know that given a little bit of sunshine, your phone is going to stay charged all day long. Yeah, I like it, and I like the colour too. Cheerio. Right, it's the next day and I see an opportunity. There's a little bit of blue there, so when that comes over, I'm going to measure the power. Ah, that's interesting. I've not seen that figure before, so we're actually getting over 8 watts with full sun and a cold panel, of course. Right, a section of completely blue sky, so let's try it again. And now we're getting 3 watts. 7.3 watts. And I think that's because the solar panel will have warmed up. So that, 7.4 watts. So that 8 watts was only because we got full sun onto a relatively cool panel. That panel's now warmed up. But my guess is that this panel could sustain approximately 7.5 watts under full sun when warm. That's pretty good.